When I started as a filmmaker, my first films, I thought the biggest compliment was if somebody said, "Oh, I loved the images." And today it's almost the opposite. Today, if somebody comes out of the film and says, "Oh, beautiful images," I think, "Oh, I made a mistake." Because if that's what they took out, that's not what I wanted. I think the images have to serve a story, and the images have to be bound by a story. And I think images can still do that, but I like to protect them. And I think the best protection I've found for images are music and words. And I think images, if they're in the context of a story, uh, they still need to be put in a context. And for me, the best protection that I know, and the one that I like to use the best, is music. And I still feel a film with no music, for me, would be like I'd be useless in a way, and I would never make it. But I would probably feel that the images are naked and unprotected, and probably get sick and die very soon. The frame is something very strange, because it's almost more important what's outside than what's inside. You're always used to looking at a frame for what is inside, in a painting, or in photography, or in film. Normally you think of what's inside. But the actual act of framing something is keeping something out. And I think frames are defined much more by what you don't show than by what you show. So it's a constant decision what you decide to leave out. And for me, framing is the most exciting part of the whole filmmaking process, because with each and every frame you make, you decide what's in your story and what's not in your story. So framing is really totally related to storytelling. I most still like paintings and photographs more than moving images, I must say. I shouldn't say that as a filmmaker, but I still love paintings a lot, and I love photographs a lot. And it's more soothing, and you can spend more time, and they're much less aggressive.
Yeah.
Watching television, we don't have a TV. I mean, I have a monitor. I can see films by putting on a DVD or a videotape, but we don't have a cable or anything. We never watch TV. I decided that it's easier for my life if I don't even have it. And if I want to see a movie, I can put in a tape, but I can't see the news. It's hopeless in America anyway. You never get the news. And you can leave a movie after 10 minutes if you read that from after the 10 first minutes, you know if whatever you're going to see now from now on is just going to be something you want to delete later, and you can't delete it anymore. I think a lot of the images, once they're in you, they continue living in you. And if I see a film and I realize I don't want this film to continue living in me, the only way is to go out.
Yeah.
You don't really have a choice. And I learned that from my wife. I never walked out of any movie before I met my wife. And she was very radical. Sometimes she goes out after 5 minutes, because she says, I know that I don't want this movie to continue living in my memory. So she goes out, and I sit there alone, and I have to think, well, now, do I watch it? What do I want to do? And I learned that it's good to leave. I realized more and more that it's not worth it doing anything that you can't really do with full conviction. So when I was like a film critic, I realized that it was not worth the time to write about movies that I didn't like. So I stopped writing about movies that I didn't like, and I only wrote about movies I liked when I was a critic. And as a filmmaker, I learned the same thing, that slowly, I didn't know it right away, but I learned that I really wanted to only show and spend time with films and shots and actors and scenes that I liked. And I just refrained from shooting anything that I didn't like. So I mean, I don't want to do anything anymore that doesn't come out an act of love. And I think everything else that you do out of any other motive is a waste of time.